Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah, wa ba'd. Then we welcome everyone back to another episode, the 15th episode of Islamic Fatawa for the Muslim child. Our co-host Abu Yusuf will probably not be joining us today due to some prior engagements, but inshallah we'll continue without him, and hopefully he'll join us next week, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. We're going to cover topics today regarding clothing, clothing with images, clothing which is short, or clothing which is tight. When and what age should the women start wearing hijab and niqab, as well as toys made by the kuffar, toys made by Muslims, toys that are images of people or animals, to what extent, how realistic are they or not, and even table tennis or table soccer, inshallah ta'ala. So without any further wait, we'll continue bi'idhnillah with our first question. This question was asked to Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. What is the ruling of clothing a child in a garment that contains pictures of living beings? Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, the scholars say it is forbidden to clothe a child in that which is forbidden for an adult to wear, and that containing pictures of living beings is forbidden for an adult to wear. Hence, it is forbidden for a child to wear it as well, and it is so. It is upon the Muslims to boycott such clothing and footwear so that wicked people do not subject us to evil from this front. If they are boycotted, these people would not find a way to import it into this country, and it would become non-profitable for them. So here we find a principle that the Sheikh brought, and that is what is forbidden for an adult to wear, it is forbidden for a child to wear. What is forbidden for an adult is forbidden for children. He also said an important point, that if we boycott these companies who sell clothes and shoes that have images on them and haram symbols or whatever it might be, then this is something we should do so that they cannot subject us to the evil from this direction. And if these people are boycotted, then they will not find a way to bring that stuff into our country because it won't be profitable for them. So therefore, they'll start bringing in the stuff which we can wear. I remember when my son was very young, it was almost impossible to find clothing without any images, without images of living beings, much less images of just a plain white shirt, a plain blue shirt, a plain red shirt. It was almost impossible. And I'm sure it's in the last 14 years, it's become even harder. So this could be an opportunity for the Muslims to develop this line of clothing, something simple, something plain, something cheap that all Muslims from all aspects of life could afford, something quality at the same time, so that we do not fall prey to the tricks of shaitan and these non-Muslims who are seeking to weaken us and weaken our ummah by slipping this type of things into our communities. And Allah knows best. This next question was also asked to Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah. They said, Honorable Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, may Allah protect you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To proceed, the displaying of pictures, large and small, has swamped the shops. They are pictures of either famous actors or famous people. They are for introducing ranges and types of products such as perfumes and the likes. When we object to the shop traders about this evil, they reply that these pictures do not possess bodies or shadows, and this means that they are not forbidden, as they are not from the imitations of Allah's creation. They claim that they have read a fatwa from your honorable selves in the newspaper Al-Muslimun, stating that the making of embodied pictures, that is, modeling, is forbidden. As for other than that, it is permissible. We hope from your honorable selves the clarification of this issue. May Allah reward you with good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, he said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He who attributes to us that the forbidden in picture making is modeling, and that other than that this is permissible, has lied against us. We see it as being impermissible to wear garments that contain a picture of a living being, whether that is for the young or old. We also see it as being impermissible to keep photographs for remembrance and other such purposes, except for in those matters that necessity calls for, such as in identity cards or licenses, and Allah is the one who gives success. So we want to make sure when we hear a fatwa from somebody that we're hearing it from someone reliable, and that that person is someone who conveyed the message correctly. So the Sheikh said, whoever says that we allowed that, it only matters if it has a physical 3D shape and a shadow is cast, and therefore pictures are permissible, they've lied against us. We don't allow this or that, right? For the young or for the old, even keeping photographs for remembrance or other such purposes, except for a driver's license, a passport, a civil ID, state ID, whatever that might be that a person would need, a school ID, a work ID, something like this. Other than that, it's not permissible. And we should verify the fatwa. For example, this fatwa is from Fatawa Islamiyya, volume 4, page 364. Excuse me. The next question. Question 127. Some women, may Allah guide them, clothe their young daughters in garments that reveal their shins. If we advise these mothers as to this, they reply, we used to wear similar clothing when we were young, and it didn't affect us when we got older. What is your opinion concerning this? So the question is about women who allow their daughters to wear dresses, say up to the knee, that their shins are exposed. And they say, well, we used to wear it and we turned out okay. We still end up wearing a baya. What do you say about this? And this was asked to Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah. He said, I see that it is not befitting that one should dress one's young daughter in such clothing, because if she becomes used to it, it will remain her habit, and the issue of its wearing will be a light matter to her. Whereas if she is accustomed to modest clothing, she will remain upon it when she grows up. I advise our Muslim sisters to avoid the clothing of the foreign enemies of the religion and to accustom their daughters to concealing clothing and modesty, for modesty is from belief. SubhanAllah. The Sheikh, he said, if they grow up on this, it's going to become their habit. If they wear these cute dresses and every time someone sees them, they say, oh, that's a pretty dress. Oh, that's a pretty dress. That's a cute dress. Right? Oh, she's got cute little legs. Look at her cute little legs. SubhanAllah. Right? Oh, when they get to a certain age, look at her hair. Your hair is so beautiful, this and that. When it comes time to cover up, when it comes time to wear, it's obligatory to wear a full-length garment and to cover everything. She's not going to want to do it. She wants to hear someone tell her how cute she is. She wants to have someone look at her legs and tell her how cute they are, how cute her dress is. Or if she's dressing in all black or a solid color so as not to attract attention, where is she going to get that praise from that she's so used to? SubhanAllah, the hikmah involved in this. There's not need for much comment. It's the same thing over and over and over. Question 128, also asked to Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. Some people have made it their habit to dress their daughters in short, tight clothing that describes the body, whether they be young or old. I hope that you can guide and advise such people. The Sheikh, he said, rahimahullah, it is obligatory upon a person to observe his responsibility. It is upon him to fear Allah and prevent all those who have control over his girls from dressing them in such clothing. For it has been authenticated from the Prophet ﷺ that he said, 2 types from the inhabitants of the fire I have not yet seen. And then he mentioned women who are clothed but yet naked, alluring in their walk, and their heads like the leaning humps of camels. They will not enter paradise nor smell its scent. These women who wear short skirts are clothed because they are wearing clothing, but they are naked due to the fact that their private zone is revealed. For the entire body of a woman is her private zone regarding to viewing by non-mahrams, including her face, hands, and feet. Similarly, naked is the woman who wears tight clothing, for she appears to be clothed, but in reality she is naked, because the detailed description of the body through tight clothing is nakedness. It is upon a woman to fear Allah and not reveal her beauties. She should not go to the markets except wearing clothes that do not turn heads. And she should not be perfumed so as not to attract men, in which case it would be feared that she is an adulterous woman. It is upon a Muslim woman not to leave her house except for a needy requirement. If she does not leave it, or if she does leave it, she should not be perfumed, beautified, or walk in a lewd fashion. Let it be known that the Prophet ﷺ said, I have not left behind me a trial more harmful for men than women. The trial of women is immense, and virtually no one is safe from it. It is upon our nation of Muslims not to follow the paths of the enemies of Allah, such as the Jews, the Christians, and others. For verily, this issue is of enormous importance. It is narrated from the Prophet ﷺ that he said, verily Allah gives respite to an oppressor until the time that he seizes him, and then he does not allow him to escape. He then read the words of the Most High, وَكَذَلِكَ أَخْذُ رَبِّكَ إِذَا أَخَذَ الْقُرَى وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ إِنَّ أَخْذَهُ عَلِيمٌ شَدِيدٌ. Such is the grip of your Lord when he grips the towns while they are doing wrong. Verily, His grip is painful and severe. Surah Hud, Ayat 102. Those propagators of Islam who call to the unveiling of women's faces and free mixing of the sexes are upon clear misguidance and immense ignorance. For they are at variance with the guidance of Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are ignorant, or they play ignorant, to what has happened to those nations who have been afflicted with these issues. They seek escape from the disaster, but how is that possible for them while they take such a stance? It has become a habit that will not be changed except with a huge effort, and Allah is the helper. SubhanAllah. This was a stern fatwa that women should pay attention to. The question is about those who dress their daughters in short, tight clothing that describe the body. He brought the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that there are people of the hellfire that I have not yet seen. Two types. One of them is the women who are clothed but naked. Their clothes are tight, so you can see all the parts of their body, if their thighs are thick or thin, if their breasts are big or small, if their backside is big or small, if they have a gap, and so on. Many things that are described by tight clothing, being clothed yet naked. All of this is revealing the private zone or the aura of the woman. And this is from the enemies of Islam, who have tricked the Muslims into thinking that a tight hijab or tight clothes on with a hijab, a scarf, a khimar, that this is hijab, that this is permissible in Islam. And he brought that a woman should not go out except covering her aura, not covering it with material, but covering it with in a way that its shape is not known, its skin tone is not known. Thirdly, or secondly, she should go out unperfumed. She should go out without perfume on. And firstly, she should go out covered, meaning where her shape and her color of her skin cannot be seen. Secondly, unperfumed. And thirdly, that she goes out not walking in a attractive manner, hoping to attract the attention of the people. The purpose of hijab is to conceal the women from the men, not to have embroidery and fancy things and a nice pin with a sparkle to it so it will catch someone's eye and cause them to look. Rather, they should be in a way that is not like the Jews and the Christians, which we seek refuge in the salat all morning and afternoon and night, when we say اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The next question, also asked to Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah. He says, my brother dresses his 4-year-old daughter in a veil and says, he who grows up upon something grows old upon it. And he tries to force this upon my children. Whereas I disagree with him in this and say to him, when they reach menses, what is your opinion about this severity by which he has chained the childhood of this child at the age of 4? May Allah reward you with good. Right off the bat, before we get to the answer of the Sheikh, something that I would see is that she did not wait on the answer of the Sheikh to see if it's right or wrong. And she even maybe tried to sway the Sheikh to her position or give an answer in her way by what do you have to say, or what is your opinion about the severity by which he has chained the childhood of this child at the age of 4. Not is he right or wrong, or is he chaining the childhood, but he's chaining it. So what do you say? Let's see what he said, inshallah ta'ala. He said, there is no doubt that your brother's statement is the common occurrence, meaning he who grows up on something grows old upon it. He who grows up on something grows old upon it. This is why the Prophet ﷺ has ordered the one who reached the age of 7 years to perform the prayer, even though he is not yet responsible for his actions. Rather, this is in order that he be accustomed to it. As for a young girl, there is no ruling concerning her private zone. It is not obligatory upon her to cover her face, neck, and hands, or feet, and it is not befitting that she should be forced into this. Whereas if she reaches a stage at which men start to become attracted to her, then she should wear the hijab to prevent the trials and evil. This varies with different women, for there are some who develop very rapidly, while others are of the opposite, or where there are others who are opposite of this, and Allah is the one who gives success. So it seems that the Sheikh may be in somewhat of agreement with her, that they should not be forced into this before they reach into this, before they reach the age of puberty, or before they reach the age where men start to become attracted to her. However, it's also upon the parent, as we see that the Prophet ﷺ ordered us to teach the children at the age of 7 to pray, right? Even though they're not responsible. And a child should pray like an adult, and he should be taught. Likewise, a woman has to be covered from head to toe, except her face and hands in the salat. So the little girls should be covering from head to toe, at least in the salat. Right? This is what the Prophet ﷺ ordered us to teach them at the age of 7. Right? And if the father or the parents may be concerned that people are looking at their daughter as attractive, then they have the right to cover her up, even if she's of a younger age. And Allah knows best. But as the Sheikh said, they should not be forced. And this is something that I see many times. Here, I hear stories from my family that there are women who there are girls who they want to wear hijab at a young age. Yet the family members, the aunts and uncles or cousins, they're against it. They think that the parent is the one forcing it upon them, and it becomes a big argument in the family, and they tell them they shouldn't wear it yet, whereas it's the young girl who wants to do so. Ala kulli hal. This person says, Assalamu alaikum, mashallah, jazakallah khairan, wa alaikum assalam, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, wa iyyakum. The next few questions that we have are relating to toys. Question 130. Many toys contain drawings of living creatures, mostly for the purpose of education, such as those in Learn to Read and Write books. So, are they permissible? Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen was asked, he said, if they are for the amusement of small children, those who have permitted pictures for them permit pictures such as these. There are those who forbid such pictures despite the fact that they are not imitations of their counterparts from the creation of Allah, as is apparent from the one in front of me. This matter is simple. So it says in a footnote, such as the one in front of me, it is apparent from this fatwa that the Sheikh had such a toy which had a cartoon image or character on it. And he said, there are those who forbid such pictures despite the fact that they are not imitations from their counterparts of the creation, meaning they don't look like anything They're not any type of animal or bird. For example, I'm just thinking like SpongeBob. It's not an animal. It's not a bird. It's not a human, right? So what is it? It's a sponge. So he says, as for this, then the matter is simple. Some people still forbid it. As for those who allow such things, then they allow those pictures, right? For children, right? But there are those who, despite that, still prohibit it. Okay, the next question. Again, asked the Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. There are many different types of dowels. Some are made of cotton and are merely a sack with different sections as a head, 2 arms, and 2 feet, while some accurately resemble a human and others speak, cry, or walk. What is the ruling of making or buying such types of dowels for small girls designed for their education and amusement? The Shaykh answered, rahimahullah, as for the inaccurately detailed dowel, such that it consists of some limbs, a head, and does not show any close resemblance to a human, there is no doubt as to its permissibility. It is the type of dowels that Aisha radiallahu anha used to play with. Whereas, if it's complete in its resemblance to a human, as if you were looking at one, especially if it moves or speaks, then I have a doubt about its permissibility because it is totally emulating the creation of Allah. It is apparent that the dowels of Aisha radiallahu anha that she used to play with were different to this. Therefore, to avoid it, it is more worthy, but I do not affirm that it is forbidden. Bearing in mind that it is permitted for children in such matters what is not permitted for adults. For it is created within the nature of children to like playing and amusement, and they are not responsible for any type of worship, so that we could have possibly argued that their time is wasted in such playing and amusement. If a person wants to be safe in such matters, let him cut the doll's head off or heat it up over a fire until it becomes soft, and then press away its features. SubhanAllah. Walidain al-Walideen, she says Allah musta'an, and Brother Jamaat says Allahumma ihdina bifadlik. Ameen. So here in the Sheikh's answer, he said if it's a doll, if it's a rag doll, a pillowcase with some rubber bands around to make a head pop up and some arms and legs or something, it's just something that, like, what is that? You look at it and say, what is that? Like the Prophet ﷺ asked Aisha, what is that? Right? She couldn't tell exactly what it was. It looked weird. Then this is permissible without a doubt. But as for that which resembles a human being, it can speak, it can talk, it can move. They even have some now, you can give it a bottle and it'll wet itself. SubhanAllah. Some that can crawl. Then he says, I doubt its permissibility because it totally emulates that which is created by Allah. It totally emulates that which is created by Allah. But he said, he did say though, but I do not affirm that it is forbidden. The Sheikh, he withheld. I'm not going to say it's haram, but it seems very, very, very suspect. And he said, remember, the children, they like to play. The salat is not, they're not made to make salat until 7, and it's not obligatory upon them until puberty. And so you should let them play. You're not going to say they're wasting their time at that young age because they're not held responsible for anything at that point. But if a person wants to be safe, then let them cut the doll's head off or heat it up over a fire until it becomes soft and press away its features. I remember my son used to, my mom, his grandma used to buy him the car and I don't remember their names, from the cartoon Cars, the tow truck with the goofy face and the cars and all of them. I used to take them and put them on a stove and smash the face out following this fatwa. I remember a book that was spread out in many 20 some years ago, like 50 ways that women can be involved in giving dawah and educating their children. And one of the things that was said in there was to, when you go on a grocery trip, when you come home, like let all the kids have a big black magic marker so that they can wipe out all the faces on the cans and the cereal boxes and whatever other stuff comes. You can wipe out all the haram images on them, and this can be kind of like a game, who can get the most done, or whatever the case, something just to bring the family together and at the same time remove this evil. Seeds of Righteousness, the book is called, I remember now. Question 132, again asked the Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. Is there a difference between a child making these toys and us making them and buying them for them? He said, rahimahullah, I maintain that to produce them in such a fashion that emulates the creation of Allah is forbidden, because this is a type of depicting live beings, as to which there is no doubt concerning its prohibition. If they are imported to us from the Christians or other disbelievers, to possess one is, as I have mentioned in the beginning, forbidden. As for concerning the purchase of toys, instead of buying such dolls, we should buy things that do not consist of pictures, such as bicycles, toy cars, swings, and other similar toys. As for the rag doll that does not accurately depict a human being, even though it consists of limbs, a head, and a neck, but there are no eyes or nose, there is no harm in it, because it does not emulate that created by Allah. So the Sheikh is saying here that buying these types of toys from the disbelievers, these dolls, these toys, is forbidden, because most commonly these toys that they make, these dolls that they make, are the forbidden type, meaning that they totally resemble human beings. As for the others, then inshallah, it's not a problem. And we have Muslims who have provided us with rag doll type of toys for many, many years now. So we shouldn't still have this issue, except we become more and more laxed regarding it. Question 133. What is the ruling of producing what resembles a bride from modeling clay and then kneading it away immediately? So to take some modeling clay and to shape it into, say, a bride, and then just smash it, right? What's the ruling? Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, he said, anyone who creates something that emulates the creation of Allah falls under the curse of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi. One second. Anyone who creates something that emulates the creation of Allah falls under the curse of the Prophet ﷺ of those who portray living beings. He said, ﷺ, the people who are most severely punished on the day of resurrection are the picture makers. However, it is like I have mentioned, if the picture is not detailed, that is, it does not depict the eyes, nose, mouth, or fingers, then it is not a complete picture, nor the emulation of that created by Allah, the most honorable and majestic. So making something and then smashing it, or drawing something and then scratching it out or erasing it, all that should not be done unless it is completely not resembling creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Question 134. Again, asked the Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, what is the ruling of buying model animals made from rubber as toys for children? He said, rahimahullah, the use of detailed models and pictures is forbidden according to the Sharia. As for children's toys, it is best to deform them, but better still is to not buy them so as not to encourage the producers, and Allah is the one who gives success. So having toys like this is forbidden. All right, or having detailed models and stuff is forbidden. As for a children's toy, it's better to deform them, burn them, cut the head off, burn the face, melt it off, right? And even better yet, not buy them, so as to encourage those who make the toys to make more and to pile them more into our country. Rather, don't buy them, boycott them, as he said in the very beginning regarding clothes, and then they'll have to provide us for something that is permissible. And we won't be tested with such things, and Allah is the one who gives success. The last question for today, and this is the only question that was not asked to Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. What is the ruling of the toy that has appeared in the markets which children and teenagers play with? It consists of model football players arranged in rows on a table. A small ball is introduced and the rows of models are moved by hand. The one who loses pays the cost of the game played to the owner of the game, and more commonly, nothing is paid. Is it permissible and that similar to it according to the Sharia? So basically, he's asking about what we call table soccer or foosball, where we know we have the men, we have the sticks where we move them back like this and flip them trying to get the ball in. What's the ruling on this? So the question was asked in two ways. What's the ruling on this in general, whether something is paid or not paid, basically paid or not paid? If the loser pays for the game, if it costs 50 cents to play, for example, the loser pays that 50 cents, or if there's nothing paid at all because it's not doesn't have a coin mechanism. Al-Lajnah Da'ima, the permanent committee, they said, if the description of the game is as you have mentioned, it consisting of rows of models that are played with and the paying of the loser the cost of renting the game, then it is forbidden for the following reasons. Firstly, buying one's self with this game is a frivolity, or busying one's self with this game is a frivolity, and it wastes the player's time. He loses much of the welfare of his religion and his worldly affairs. This game could become a habit of his and a means that leads to worse, such as the different types of gambling. Everything that is as such is forbidden according to the Sharia. Secondly, to produce models and pictures of living beings and possessing them is one of the major sins due to the authentic hadith in which Allah, the Most High, and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam have cautioned those who do this with fire and severe punishment. Thirdly, the paying of the loser the cost of using the game is forbidden because it is wastefulness and the squandering of money in mere game and frivolity. The renting of the game is a void transaction, and the earning of its owner from it is the attaining of ill-gotten property and the consumption of wealth through falsehood. So this is a major sin and of the illegal gambling games. May Allah send the salat and salam upon the Prophet, his family, and his companions. I don't know what else to say. Basically, the issue of images is very severe. We know many of us, we may start out very harsh against them, and with time, we allow it or start allowing a little bit and then a little bit until it can overtake us. The best thing is to not allow it at all, or if we have started to just cut it off before it gets any worse, because it's going to get worse. It doesn't stay. Things don't stay in the middle. They rise or go down. Iman rises or increases. right? Likewise, sins, they go up or they go down. They're not going to just stay the same, right? If you don't repent from a sin, that black spot gets bigger and bigger and bigger on your heart. And so it's not just going to stay the same black spot. It's going to grow, or it's going to go away through tawbah and repentance. So firstly, busying oneself with this is frivolity and wasting time. And all we are is time. We're made up of nights and days. When one of our days goes, part of us goes, as Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah said. Secondly, having images of soccer players or whatever they may be on these games. I'm sure they have other ones. I'm sure they probably have basketball ones. I'm sure they have hockey ones. I'm sure they have different types. Baseball, cricket, maybe. I don't know. This is forbidden and haram, and the people who made these and possess them are promised and threatened with severe punishment on the day of judgment. And as for paying, the loser paying the cost of the game rental, then this is a gambling, and it's a wasting of money. It's haram for him to do, and it's haram for a person to open up a place for this type of thing, an arcade or whatever it might be, and to take the money of the people. This is illegally gotten money. It's a major sin, and it's going to lead to more and more gambling. With that, we conclude, inshallah ta'ala. I thank everyone for tuning in. We have 16 questions left, miscellaneous questions. They're not grouped into any particular chapter, just its own chapter, miscellaneous issues. As I said, there are 16. I don't think that we'll cover all 16 of them in 1 week. So rather, we'll probably do 8 and 8, and we'll have two more episodes in this book. And in the meantime, we'll be deciding, are we going to continue with Al-Fatawa or Fatawa Islamiyya, which is a 4-volume work covering these issues and many more. So we thank everyone for coming. We thank everyone, whoever watches this. Leave us a comment, a correction, a concern. Also, subscribe, share it with your family. Give us a thumbs up. Giving a thumbs up is from the sunnah of the Salaf. Whenever they like something, whenever they're approved of a narrator, they would give a thumbs up or two. So, inshallah, that helps for YouTube to spread these fatwa. And by spreading them, I don't get any money. If I had 10 million views, I am not monetized. However, the more views we get, the more Islam is being spread, and we have positive content on the internet instead of that which takes us away from the remembrance of Allah. So, jazakumullahu khairan for all of your assistance. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. We'll see you next week bi idhnillahi ta'ala.